Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
There are claims, a lot of groups are writing us a letter asking the justice on them because in their allegation, their rights have been violated. You are a lawyer, attorney, and we all know that it was an extraordinary thing that happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. We were all caught. Surprisingly, di ba? Because hindi natin alam, ano nga, Nobel nga eh. But come to think of it, yung pandemic, nangyayari yan 50 years, 100 years. Ang last na nalalaman natin yung flu, di ba? Spanish flu. Oh. Tapos ngayon, sasabihin nila, TED, WHO, prepare for the next pandemic. Prepare for the next virus. As if they are already conditioning the minds of our people in the whole world that a next pandemic is about to come. And that's the reason why the period of amendments were reduced from 18 months to 10 months. And the period of ratification from 2 years to 1 year. Kasi they wanted to paikliin eh. Tapos, ayan na naman, sinabi ni Biden, prepare for the next virus. Di ba? And a lot of those people on the global elites are saying that ayan na, meron na. At tayo naman, na-amend na yung international health regulation, okay na yung amendment, so tapos na yon. So ngayon, ratification na ng pandemic treaty ang kanilang tinatrabaho para na sa ganun, meron ng protocol on the next pandemic. We, in the Congress, we just have to be prepared. Especially kapag yung human rights na ang nababiolate. For example, yung lockdowns, di ba? Forced vaccination. We don't want that to happen again. Okay yung mga taong gusto magpabaksin. Ay, alimbawa, pupunta ka ng mga malls, pupunta ka ng school, hindi ka bibigyan ng vaccine. We know the rights of those vaccinated. Ako, vaccinated ako. Gusto ko, syempre, lahat ng mga kasama ko, vaccinated din. But their rights to their own health is their prerogative. Problema nila yun. Hindi na natin problema yun. So, don't force our people to get vaccinated. Sana. Diba? So, the government should create a new protocol that will protect both rights of those who wanted to be vaccinated and those who do not want to be vaccinated.
Not only that, Mr. Chair, I also would like to raise the issue na yung debt na ito, more than 90% of that, no? Alam ko, hindi issue to sa DOH, more than 90% of that ng mga debt na yan have been, anong tawag doon, yung cremated. Cremated to. Now, when I was talking to one hospital and one director, anong sabi niya sa akin? Wala na po kaming authority dyan. It now becomes the authority of the funeral parlors. If they will cremate the death because of the COVID thing. Pero doon sa Chile, Mr. Chair, hindi naman kinikremate yung mga tao, nililibing pa rin eh. Alright, why do we have, katulad ng lockdown why should there be cremation always sa lahat ng mga pasyente? Mayaman yan o mahirap. Kinikremate yan. Wala kayong pagpipilian. It means this, that our religious convictions have even been violated. Because there are religions here, like the Baptist Church, that do not believe in cremation. Still, kahit na hindi na kami nanawa sa cremation, still kinikremate ang mga tao. Is that not a human rights violation? Clearly, it is. Pero wala kami magawa doon. That's why I think, Mr. Chair, in the next hearing, we ought to invite some funeral owners here to find out why are they cremating and where did they get the rule that they should absolutely be cremated.
It's under the IATF rule. Actually, kung titingnan ko, hindi ko na mabasa dito, pero yung mga guidelines that was followed by the different sectors on the COVID approach was based on the different resolution, the IATF. At sa IATF, sino ba chairman doon? During that time, si Berger, anong role ni Berger?
Bergere.
Bergere. Ano ba role ni Bergere?
You used to be the acting.
Your Honor, during the IATF,
Di ba acting siya noon? Acting?
initially po, she's the spokesperson. Then, when we do not have yet the Secretary of Health, she was appointed as officer in charge of the department.
Sige, let's invite her on the next hearing.
Yes. Hindi naman siya overacting.
Saka I think, si Secretary Duque also
Yes,
was
Mr. Chair,
sa IATF sila eh.
I move that we invite the persons that have been mentioned and funeral parlors, Mr. Chair. We ought to invite them to come to shed light on this issue.
Okay, so we will be the COMSEC is hereby directed to invite those persons, and also the siguro may mga association yan ng different antag din? Funeral parlors. May mga? Hindi, it's under also the DOH. Siguro we will be asking also a unit under the DOH who are implementing doon sa issuance ng cremation ng mga different funeral parlors, kasi yung order no nanggaling naman sa IATF, sa DOH di ba?
IATF ba?
Initially, I think we have a guidelines po with regard to disposal of dead persons, especially for infectious diseases. We followed that as well, but not necessarily just cremation. There is a certain number of feet that is required and the sealing of the casket.
Okay.
I think we ought to invite Mr. Chair, General Valdez on this because he is the head of the IATF. Diba?
General
Valdez ba yun? General Valdez ba? Galvez,
si Gerald Galvez also. And also, sino pa ba yan? Sige, we will be inviting over the other personalities. Siguro, let's ask those mga victims, Sinong personality who wanted to speak on the behalf of the yung mga victims? Andito rin si Miss si Ma'am Dalmacion, You are an epidemiologist. Sige. Nabubulol na po ako
I'm a
sa gutom.
pharmacoepidemiologist, sir, and a former chair of the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology of the UP.
Sa pharmacovigilance?
I used to head the NADRAC, which was one
Sa NADRAC is
BFAD,
about the
National Adverse Drug Reaction Committee.
ito yung mga adverse effect.
Opo, pero yun po BFAD pa ang tawag sa kanya.
So
Ngayon
dati BFAD.
FDA na po.
So in other words, alam niyo yung mga pumapasok doon ng mga complaints about doon sa adverse effect nung after immunization.
Iba po yung program sa after immunization and the drug. Pero basically the same on reporting, it's passive. And I found out that if you have passive reporting, the reporting is not so reliable. Hindi underreporting.
Wait. What are you saying? That all the report coming out from the pharmacovigilance are not reliable? Why?
Sir, hindi. I take that word reliable back. Hindi siya, spontaneous po siya. Kaya there is a chance of underreporting.
So in other words, there was like a 113,000 adverse effects that was recorded by the pharmacovigilance. So in other words,
Hindi ko po alam kung, sir,
it was established. It was established in the previous hearings that there were 113,000 adverse effects after immunization.
Opo.
So you were saying now that hindi siya ganun ka-accurate because of what?
Hindi po siya accurate in terms of the number of reports because it is spontaneous and voluntary. So, pwedeng underreported. May mga taong hindi magre-report dahil natatakot, hindi alam saan magre-report, at paano mag-report. It has to be initiated by FDA.
Maganda yan. Medyo ngayon ko lang nalaman yan because dyan nagsisimula yung mga nagko-complain sa atin ng mga victims na according to them that they have yung human rights were violated. So ang tanong sa DOH, how reliable is our pharmacovigilance is, considering that you have reported to us in this committee 113,000 people who have experienced adverse reaction after no immunization. Pero yung serious doon, yung mga namatay, I think it's like 3,000 something or 6,000. So, can you kindly tell us yung sinasabi ni Miss Dalmacion? Being a part of the, part din po kayo ng dating Part po ba kayo ng DOH dati?
Hindi po. Disclaimer po, ako ay member ng Board of Medicine ng PRC sa ngayon.
Board of Medicine.
I retired from UP already.
Doktor po kayo?
Opo.
Ay, doktora po kayo. Sige. Anybody from DOH? Hindi yung
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I would like to let our technical person, Mark, to explain the pharmaco of FDA now. Thank you.
Sino si Mark? Mark, please. Sige, please answer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me, sorry. The reporting, I think during the surveillance, actually the WHO recommendation is to have at least 10 reports per 100,000 doses administered. In our data that we captured during the AFI surveillance, actually we have 62.33 reports per 100,000 doses administered. So this is an indication that our surveillance system is actually working.
Anong ibig sabihin ng working? Nagbigay ka ng percentage, di ba?
Yes.
Ilan ang percentage?
Actually, it's an indicator po. The indicator is at least 10 reports.
So, for example, like 100 that have been vaccinated, okay, ilang porsyento ang effective doon?
Yes, po. The indicator po is, Mr. Chair, is 100,000 doses administered. So there should be at least 10 reports per 100,000 doses that is administered.
Oh.
And during the surveillance...
Is that your standard? Ano ba yung standard nyo? Ano ba yung standard nyo na effective yung immunization na yan? Ano yung standard?
Yes po, it must be at least 10. So,
At least 10 what? Percent?
10 reports per 100,000 doses.
10 reports per 100,000
yes, Mr. Chair.
doses.
Yes.
Di ba ang liit nun?
But that is the indicators po, actually, that
Is that,
we are using.
that is only 0.0001. Is that your standard? To be able to find out
It's
that...
actually an international...
I'm still speaking.
Sorry.
To be able to find out that the vaccinations are successful, 0.0001.
Mr. Chair, that is the indicator is coming from the international po. It's actually from the WHO.
Why do we always have to follow the international thing? When magkaiba itong ating nangyayari sa Pilipinas, why don't we have our own rules? Why do we have to follow the international rule? Why don't we have our own rules? DOH kayo eh. IATF. Bakit hindi tayo? Hindi, bawal ba yun? Gusto ko lang malaman, bawal ba tayo magkaroon ng sariling rules? Bawal ba? I think, are we going to be penalized if we do not follow the international rule? Or we could be able to have our own rule?
We could have, Mr. Chair, but actually the indicator that we are using is actually used by almost all of
Kahit na, I don't care about if almost all it is being used. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, ang mga Pilipino ang namamatay. Alright. Kung ang Pilipino mga namamatay na ganun karami, ang pinag-uusapan excess deaths eh. Ang pinag-uusapan natin, why don't we have our own rules as far as the standard of is concerned concerning the success of the vaccination? Di ba? Tama ba ako ron? Pero may pagbabawal ba? Pinagbabawal ba ng World Health Organization na magkaroon tayo ng sariling rule on that? Pinagbabawal ba nila? Is the World Health Organization now is the most sovereign among countries? And therefore, kung natin susunod yung World Organization, walang kwentang bansa tayo?
You can reply, please.
Mr. Chair, it's not required naman po.
It's not
yun
mandatory.
Not mandatory.
Kasi
yun
nga,
pala
yun lagi kasi sila kasi recommendatory. Recommendatory. So, not mandatory. Unfortunately, lahat ng dikta sa atin ng WHO, sinusunod natin talaga. Yan ang problem to the detriment of the Filipino people. Like for example, yung protocol nung lockdown, sino ba nasunod? WHO. Yung mga template ng ating IATF ng mga resolutions, it's all coming from the WHO that will be approved by the executive department. Yun ang sinasabi po namin sana ngayon. Dapat sana po, maiba na po yung protocol. Hindi na po sana katulad nung dati that we are forced to follow yung mga sinasabi ng WHO. Correct din naman si Congressman Abante that we need to have our own rules. Unless otherwise, that will be sanctioned by the WHO. And who is behind the WHO? The big states that is financing the WHO. Doon ba tayo natatakot? Because we will be sanctioned with the different sector. Like for example, hindi tayo pautangin o hindi ba tayo bibigyan ng mga aid, hindi tayo bibigyan ng mga donations. Those are the repercussions na nakikita natin that if ever that the different states will not follow, especially poor countries, will be sanctioned. Kaya ngayon ginagawa nila, okay, recommendatory kami. O ito, bigay nyo. O ito, gawin yung mga batas. Ito, gawin yung mga recommendation. So, tayo naman, sunod. And that's the reason why I can feel the feelings of Congressman Abante that sana magkaroon tayo ng sariling stand natin. Because we have experienced that excess deaths. Sobrang kamatayan yung inabot natin. But, again, this was experienced by the whole world. And we have experienced that. Pero sana wag nating gawin na naging bahagi na lang ng kasaysayan yung 300,000 taong namatay. Dapat we learn from that mistake that never again that we will allow this kind of deaths.
So, Mr. Chair, bakit palagi nilang ginagamit natin yung tinatawag na stick and carrot approach? Di ba? I mean, okay, pag hindi nyo ginawa ito, hindi namin kayo bibigyan ng vaccines. Hindi naman kayo papautangin. Ganun palagi. Stick and carrot approach. Don't we have any right? Ito ang question. Don't we have any right as a sovereign nation? A sovereign nation na gumawa tayo ng sariling standard for the sake of the Filipino people. Meron ba tayong right o wala? Anybody can answer among the DOH.
Who wants to answer the query Congressman, Chairman Abante? Siguro, kung wala, let's ask yung mga sino bang mga pwedeng who wants to reply. Sige, Doktora.
Sir, if you, I'd like to beg the indulgence of Mark from the FDA. There is no such thing as a required sample size for reporting because it's spontaneous. Okay? Nung ginawa po namin yung rule na 10,000, 10 reports for 10,000, yun po ay sa mga drug na bagong binigyan ng certificate of registration. Bagong drugs po yun. So part of pharmacovigilance...
Doktora, yung pang inyong sinasabi, medyo in-advisean yung DOH dyan?
Hindi po ako taga-DOH. Hindi po rin ako tinanong.
As a private person that knows very well the situation bilang doktor, siguro pwede po kayo mag-advise sa DOH tungkol dyan. Gumawa ba kayo ng paraan para sabihin sa DOH, no, ito, mali ito. Why don't you do something about this?
Actually, sir, naging resource speaker din ako noon sa emergency use authorization. Pero nagulat po ako sa sagot ni Mark. Kasi maybe WHO expects 10 reports per 100,000 of doses. Kasi po, iba yung 10 out of 10 reports of 10,000. Ni-require po namin yun pag ang drug, merong preclinical trial. Meron siyang data na nakikita sa hayop at sa phase 1 and phase 2 na may side effect na ganito ka-frequent. And you need 10 times the denominator.
So, in other words, yung mga vaccine natin, hindi sila dumaan sa pre-trial?
Kasi po, hindi sila abbreviated ang trial ng vaccine natin.
How many
COVID.
stages yung pre-trial bago iturok sa tao?
Medyo mabilis po siya because usually
Hindi, kasi
pag
yung last
vaccine,
natin, no,
10 years po ang vaccine development. Ito 10 months lang.
Yun na nga eh.
So, hindi ko po alam kung
yun nga sabi natin sa DOH. We have to be careful again with the vaccine that will be vaccinated to our people in the next, quote, na pandemic. Kasi yan ang pinaprepare na nila eh. Pandemic eh. So, vaccine na naman. Tuturukan na naman tayo. So, that have to undergo a series of tests that is required by
the regulatory agency po.
by the regulatory
FDA.
agency.
Opo.
Kasi nga nangyayari, dahil napabilis yung ating vaccine nung nakaraang pandemic, so tinanggap na lang natin na ito ay safe and effective. While our law that was approved by the Congress, sinasabi, kailangan safe and effective siya. Pero hindi tayo dumaan doon sa clinical testing that is required by the regulating agency.
Ang dinaanan po natin is efficacy trial.
Yeah, kaya
Kasi
nga,
ang
efficacy
safety
trial
po,
is not construed as a series of pace of checking to the animals and to the hindi ganon.
Abbreviated din ang sa basa ko po on my readings, maiikli yung mga phases. So
Ayun,
in fact,
DOH.
walang toxicologic study, walang reproductive study, walang mutagenicity study.
So DOH, you have to be sa susunod po I hope na kapag nag-announce na naman kasi dito sa IHR sinabi dito once na sinabi ni Tedros na may pandemic, yun na yun, magkakaroon na po tayo ng nakalagay dito sa
May hulanong salita na ang ibig sabihin dito ay ang pagkakaisa.
Bunyog Party List.
Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na. Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na.
Sa susunod, ang atinang suportahan, Bunyog Party List, nagtataguyod ng katotohanan, lumalaban para sa bayan.